I'm like really brain dead otherwise.
That's right. Just waiting for the Facebook to pop up. There we go. Oh, should I title this? Oops.
What are we talking about? Probably.
Okay, looks like everything's good. Hey, Umino.
You have to watch an ad every time you start.
Umino likes pie because I'm not logged in as the streamer for the channel. I'm just logged in as my stream user. I streamed a bit before, like a few years ago. I was doing Dark Souls 1 streams for a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey Spirit Dragon, and hey ASD Falfa.
It's an internet nickname. It makes you interesting.
Maybe it doesn't though. Who knows?
Don't meme too hard.
Yeah. That's the rule of the day, guys. Don't meme too hard.
You might get
Because then you'll just spend the rest of your life living in the meme dream. And nobody wants that.
Show us your sick painting skills, Johnny Hall. No pressure, of course.
Yeah, it's okay. It's warm up.
Mm-hmm.
Not afraid of my stuff looking like shit, which it usually does. And then, you know, maybe after a while, it starts to look a little bit good.
So, Johnny finally drew a chick the other day,
Yeah.
and I'm so happy. I think he's doing a One Punch Man
How's that One Punch Man?
impression right now.
Really?
Hey, this guy, look at his face. Humano's like a Dick Frank's glasses. I don't. I'm getting.
He doesn't. He just wears them.
I know. I'm getting.
He
to
hasn't
the
got a
point-
shovel or anything.
Yeah, like I don't wear these for style, as you can tell. They're.
Frank's not a hipster. He actually needs glasses.
I actually need glasses. It's annoying. It's only at the point where I can still take them off and see things, but I can't drive without it. Because they put in Canada, they actually, I don't know if this is the thing everywhere, but in Canada they make you do an eye test. That if your vision is worse than the standard, I guess, you have to wear glasses. So if we got caught without glasses on the road, I'm in trouble. Yeah, maybe eventually I'm just gonna get those librarian glasses with the little thread at the end that I can wear around my neck. Because I have 3 pairs. This is the last surviving pair.
Yeah. I'm supposed to be wearing like light glasses, like nothing too strong, but just like okayish ones.
Jammer, what are you talking
But I'm
about? I
not.
look full Asian. Don't be racist.
Yeah, jeez, Jammer.
Is that what I take off my glasses and suddenly you're not Asian? Is that what you're insinuating?
Wait, hold on. Take it off. What did you do with Frank?
I'm gonna give you my worst sad face. And that was it.
So this guy is actually really important.
Why? Is he Two Punch Man?
No, he's you know.
Well, he has walnut for a head, so.
Yeah,
can't
let's
be
make
that
it like
important.
really gross.
Please. Oh, make him like a Dragon Ball Z character that just dies.
Okay.
Nah, actually don't do that. That's kind of mean. This guy only just now exists, and I'm already like trying to make his fate. Really,
Yeah, it's kind of mean.
really disgusting.
You guys can notice something about how I'm drawing. I'm actually going pretty slow. My line.
Yeah, look at that line quality, man. It's this is the opaque, thin line brush that Johnny loves to use. Is it just a hard brush, the hard round, but
Yeah.
like thinner?
Yeah.
Amazing. I dig that.
Yeah, I think so. And then he's gonna have to go a little taller. But he has. He's Johnny sucks.
Got him. Alright. It's actually not a lot of like that much trolling that's been going on in the studio. Everyone's been really nice to each other, but I think like after a few months it's gonna get like pretty salty. We'll see though.
You're complaining that there's not enough salt?
Yeah. It's not enough drama for me. I don't know what to do.
So Johnny, how's the studio life?
It's good. It's really good.
Yeah?
Feels a lot like my regular life though.
Hmm.
It's just at the studio.
With people.
Yeah.
Finally. You can't hide under a rock anymore.
Exactly.
Now you're forced.
Because I used to hide under a rock, and then like, if you know, if the ground underneath the rock wasn't comfortable, then I'd be in between a rock and a hard place, and that's not fun for anyone. Oh, thanks, Jen. Zane's in here. Nefties. How's the cake life, Nefties?
Bittersweet,
Wow.
I presume.
Wow.
Okay, so this here is a placeholder face because I didn't know what I wanted to draw, but now that I've
Ooh,
done things,
Can you draw me like a chicken?
oh man, get on my level.
Oh man, give him a crown.
I will.
Like at this point, he could either be a frog or a chicken. Oh yeah.
Hold on. We'll make it fancy.
Fancy it up, boy.
See, if you see the lines I'm drawing here, this is what I'm visualizing. I'm visualizing this curve like that.
Uh-huh.
So if you draw it, it's actually easier if you draw it for yourself, but if you draw it, they're gonna get higher towards the center, and towards the ends they're gonna fall, like get shorter. So I'm just making an indication of that, and it's not perfect, but it's enough for you to like kind of feel like it's you're underneath this cylinder in perspective.
Always gotta think geometrically.
Yeah.
So, Jin has a question for you. Is there a platypus in your IP?
That's actually a really good idea. I'd like to put one now that you mention it, because they spend a lot of time on the river. So like any kind of like water animals would be cool to add and make them just like really weird. Like maybe they like find a platypus who's like really, really crazy and is like, but they need like information from him about something. So like they have to like play along.
A crazy platypus?
Yeah. Like really bad kind of crazy. But yeah.
How about a platypus that has a identity crisis? You know?
Like what, like split personality or?
Yeah, like, well, no, but like, he's just not sure of himself.
Oh. That's not that crazy. That sounds like normal people.
Maybe split personality. Maybe sometimes he's like a duck.
Oh, that would be actually really funny. If he thinks he's a duck,
Yeah, but he's
like,
not.
but like everyone knows he isn't.
Yeah.
And if you call him like what he is, he gets like really pissed off.
Right. See, we're brainstorming. This is like productive already.
That'd be pretty cool. I like that idea. Yeah. I find the best way to put story ideas together is to make them relatable to humans. So we can see a little bit of ourselves in the characters. It's going to make them much more interesting.
Are those froggy eyes?
Yeah. And Nefty sculpted a naked chick out of a fondue today. Interesting.
A fondue? Mixing two good things together.
Oh, it's an ancient Roman style pulls without any clothing. That's kind of cool. I'd be down for that. Like, I like that idea. It's interesting. Make him like really old. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna make it even better.
Oh, is that? Like whiskers?
Yeah.
So wise. Okay, I don't know, but his head kind of looks like a testicle.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like super old and wrinkly, so like just feels really gross. I want to have that almost like as like the top of the hat, and then there's like he wears like a board, like a plank of wood on his hat, on his head, but I don't know. I don't think that would work too well. Anyways, it's fine. I like these kind of lines that you can just like go along a form with. The more I can elongate the hatching, the better for me. It's more of just a personal taste thing. I like doing that a lot. Contact points where there's stress, where the button's attached, there'd be like micro wrinkles coming off. Anything where like the stuff hits, comes together. Around this area, there's always a lot going on. This here, point of contact, this gravity is hitting the wrist, so you get like that kind of stuff going on. Somebody's knocking, probably returning the chairs.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, he should have some kind of like a cigarette holder. Like a pipe would be cool, but I feel like if he had like a cigarette holder, it would look much cooler. We can make it look a little weird though.
Joe, look, Johnny's painting weird shit.
It's not that weird.
Dude, that's awesome. It's all about frogs this week.
Yeah.
A frog?
I draw frogs all the time though. Like,
I thought it was a...
look at my sketchbook. It's like most of it. But yeah, it's cool.
Smoke.
Stylish.
Yeah, I should have reading. I would just do stuff like this all day. Yeah, it's the printing. Whoops. Do you sell art like expensive? But the thing is, three of these.
By Indian pipe, you're talking about a chillin'? The ones they smoke like this. Those are kind of cool. I like those a lot. Alrighty. All right. I'm gonna start doing crits in a bit right now. Oh yeah, it's only 9:15. Wow, actually that was pretty fast. 15 minutes.
Damn, I hate my life.
I ain't mad. I ain't mad about that at all. You know which one I really liked actually? I like the Netflix one, the Chef's Table, I think it's called. They do like this really like it's a little bit over the top because they go like crazy with like the music and the cinematography, but like there's some really beautiful colors. Like I think one of my favorite thing about foods is how they plate stuff. Like that shit's beautiful. pretty sure like the aroma and presentation with food has like a lot to do with people deciding like how much they actually like it. Hey Russell. Hey Osmed. Nice to have you guys. Like this thing where they'll do like a dish, like say it'll be like a piece of a thing like this, and they'll have it plated on like a plate that looks kind of like so. And then they'll have like this like whoosh of sauce like that you like cut this up and dip it in.
What is that?
When they plate stuff, there's like in cooking there's like composition to it. You know, you watch Chef's Table, right?
Yeah.
It shows like these crazy
Big
looking
curves.
stuff. Yeah, they use like simple shape compositions like the same way we would set up composition in painting to do like
Yeah.
really cool stuff, and then the colors are just like amazing.
What is that? Hockey puck?
Well, I
Like
don't know.
a overcooked steak?
Maybe it's like a piece of
Oh, like I know what it is.
pickled fruit or something. I don't know.
Popeye's biscuit.
Popeye's biscuit, yeah. Man, I love biscuits. Biscuits are the jam.
Because they're fried butter
Yeah.
biscuits.
Is there Popeyes around here?
I have to check.
Probably closest to down the street.
I'm actually really hungry right now. I could use some Popeye.
Is there anything close by? Besides idle chicken?
Chicken Idol, I'm sorry.
Yeah, whatever.
1 kilometer away. On
Okay,
Young
if my
Street.
horizon line somewhere probably around here. I'm gonna try to add more stuff to this comp.
They open until 1.
Really?
It's pretty good.
Yeah, on Young, just 1
I
kilometer away.
think Jesus is telling you to be a good boy right now. Alright, so I'm trying to think of what I'm going to add to this. I'm thinking a big pot.
Oh, Asmed's in the house. How is he not trolling yet?
Oh, we just give him some time to warm up.
I think everybody needs time to warm up.
The great thing about pots and cooking things is I can add whatever I want to them. Because if it's like a giant iron pot, I can like be like, oh, I'm gonna add this cool little design details just to add like a little flavor. Doesn't need to be anything really special, just a little something. So it'd be like this giant. The eye level's there. That would start to flatten out. More. Oops.
Eye level, is that the eye
Sure.
level for the entire picture?
I think so, but I could be off slightly. But it's okay. I just have to kind of maintain an impression, I think. And then this would. Oops. I want to keep that mushroomy theme going, so I'm gonna have the lid like overextend. And then,
As I should not have provoked Asmed. He's just going straight there.
oh no, I'm gonna take a glance at the chat instead. I bet I'm gonna be
You should
like,
read
I
it
knew that
out
was.
loud.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on.
Are you drawing a salt shaker?
It's a pot. Watch. See, this goes there, and then this is on this plane, like that, and then underneath we got
a pot watch?
What? What's going on? This is the furnace.
Oh wow.
I'm just going with it. I don't even know if I'm drawing things correctly, but I just want to kind of have fun. So I'm just like putting stuff. I don't even know. I guess there would be like hinges here.
Wouldn't hinges be on the other side?
Yeah.
Just like
Okay.
judging from where the
Yeah,
handle
yeah.
is.
See, good point. Good point.
Yeah, it is. Sorry for wrecking your show.
That's okay. And then I want to have like
Why is there L on the
steam coming up.
on the pot watch?
So am I right here? Oh, that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a handle.
No.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Who cares? It's just, I don't know. It'd just be like a handle that you just turn, because there's like on the inside, it would just be a simple mechanism like that.
No, I'm talking about this. Where's there L?
This?
Yeah.
That's eye level.
Oh.
So I marked it there.
So you marked that as smart.
This is where it starts to get fun. Because cast iron has texture to it. So I can like, but only where the forms turn from each other. This is like, I guess this would be like a giant lid. I'm not drawing it correctly, like, so it'd actually be offset a little more, like you'd see a little more underneath of it. But I think for the purpose, it's gonna work out okay.
Yeah, big shapes. Get that composition.
It's kind of janky, but let's get like a bit of woodsiness to it. Keep it loose though. Let's get a bit of a ground plane going there. I don't know what that is, but whatever. We use it as something. Just make like another. I'm guessing because I'm feeling like he's just standing on like the outside of like a building, or like it's in like it's there's like a scaffolding next to him here that's got like this shelf, so there'll be like stuff up here
It's like an open air kitchen.
as well. Be like stacks of these little containers on top. I can just like have them all up there. I don't even know like if that makes sense, but
Looks like
I want to
muffins.
like. So basically, these guys they make like mushroom soup. See the thing on his arm? Sometimes they use special mushrooms.
I could use them. Alright, folks on the stream, I'm gonna leave Johnny in your capable hands. Please troll him a lot.
That's funny. Capable hands. You like to make jokes, eh?
Ha! And that's me going off.
Okay. better to have two. I want to have the one that's have like a big cutout wooden post here. Then extend this down like that. Ground plane's a little too extreme. Drawing some buildings out there. I don't really need to though. Alright guys, sorry, I got a little bit distracted. I'm gonna check out the chat. I think I'm gonna draw for about another half hour, then I'll do the crits for the last hour of the stream. I think that's a nice kind of pattern to go with. Actually, I want to draw some mushroom people now. So this is part 1. And part 2, this mushroom town. Question is, where do I put my eye level? Mid eye level, higher eye level, or lower? I think mid-low. Because I like looking up at subject matter, makes the angles more interesting. Let's start. I'm probably going to erase this because it's probably not going to be good. I'm probably thinking of something better. But I'm going to start with like a big mushroomy shape, but I'm drawing the underneath of a cylinder. So, yeah, because it's mushroom. What do you think was going to happen? Nope, I don't like that. I need to slow down. It's my bad. So, mushroom here. Alright, I'm gonna try to have fun with this. Yeah, I was kind of thinking a little bit about those mushrooms, in Dark Souls. I thought they were really cool. Those actually I had a really good experience with that game because I didn't expect whatever happened because I didn't see any of the memes for it before playing it, and then when I played, I was like, holy shit. All right, you guys ready for this? It's all good, Esmond. I feel like this needs thicker legs. Yeah. Oops. There we go. You know what's weird? How like I'm drawing this stupid shit that doesn't like for no good reason, and it's like the funnest thing. It's just like stupid lines going around that like indicate something, but like it's hella fun. So this guy's seen some shit, apparently. We're getting close to time for crit. It's good. It's good shit. This is can just start a new story about mushroom people. Just check Facebook really quick, see if anyone's... Alright, no comments on Facebook. Okay. Cool. Alright, I'm gonna get into the crits, because those are probably gonna take some time. Where's that? I think I'm gonna upload these just for fun. Actually, I haven't posted anything in like a really long time, and this was actually really enjoyable to do. I need to do more stuff like this where I just draw things without being too concerned about how good it is. Yeah, that doesn't seem like the healthiest thing, Jen. You should probably get a checkup. Hey, Tenton. What do you mean file limit? Do you mean like how much stuff can you send in for crit, or like what's the file size? Like, I don't understand. If you send in like multiple pieces for crit, I'll just have to do them then like one at a time per week. I won't do them all in one go. But there's a few people in the stream that send in stuff are still standing in work. And I'll still do crits of it just because, you know, why not? Oh, file size. No, you can send whatever file size you want. I don't see why that would make a difference. I actually prefer bigger file sizes because then I don't have to resize them myself, which is like, you know, takes a couple seconds, but yeah. this one here. I'm trying to remember who sent this in. This is by Kevin. All right. So because the ones I'm getting sent in today, especially the one I got from Umino, I'm gonna focus on simple silhouette and value comp for each of these thumbnails. I'm gonna go over them really quickly and try to make them like a little more clear read and a little more interesting. For No, Tenton. I do a lot of stuff. I actually am only making a push to get better at line recently because I realized it's actually like the most important thing that you can do is be good at line. So I'm really trying to do more and just be more confident. Originally I started out drawing a lot, but I'd always drawn with a pencil. My favorite thing when I started getting more serious into this kind of stuff, when I would do traditional things, was the Prismacolor black color pencil. That thing's crazy. It's still a really, really great pencil to draw with because it's you get a pretty good range of value and it doesn't smudge much. The only problem is the leads are a little bit brittle. All right. I'm gonna go back to my favorite brush here. I think it's this one. Yes. Okay. Nice, 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 nice. Okay, let's look at the file size. Let's pop that up to 3000. There's actually a lot of nice crisp details going on in here. I like this. The detail is good. The only thing is you want to either blow out your light so the detail's in the shadow, or flatten out your shadow so the detail's in the light. If it's everywhere, it makes the read kind of confusing. It doesn't really feel like it has a ton of depth to it. Also be very, very wary of your light direction. So I'm going to really quickly make an indication of that for you right here. We're going to do this. We're going to make a geometrical shape to help us. Make that a bit lighter. This means the light's coming a bit like kind of over the shoulder. Put a little core shadow. Wrap a few strokes around there so you guys can like kind of see the way the geometry is going. All right. Light direction. If you guys want me to break anything down during the demos, let me know. I'd be happy to. Don't mind doing that. Okay. So, spending time in between your decision and mark making about where the light is hitting is really, really important. And the more time you spend there, the better. Where you contemplate where the light is and where the angle it's coming from, and then draw like these invisible lines, like as if you're sitting in a 3D space, and you can see these like lines, like these little red lines coming out from the light source and hitting the subject matter. It's a little bit tricky to do, but it gets easier the more you do it. Also, try to simplify everything in your value hierarchy into 2 values per local value. So figure out your local values first and how they overlap so that the composition reads well. And then from there, you're going to move into light and shadow. So each local value is going to get subdivided into 2. And those 2 separate values are also going to get subdivided. So you're going to get the shadow into ambient occlusion and form shadow. I guess cast shadow will also be pretty dark if it's on upward facing planes, and then in the light you're going to get halftone and highlight, and that's usually enough to make like a full render with and you soften up some of your edges later on. Hey Kevin, good timing. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to simplify this into two values. We're going to get rid of most of the dark blacks here, and we're just going to have these form shadows. I'm going to make the midtone slightly darker overall than the white highlight that you had for it, because I feel like it's better to have strong separations between your local values. I think that's really important. So for example, also think about the material value of things in your composition. So for example, this scar that's going across the eye wouldn't necessarily be black like that. You're only going to get pure black with certain kinds of materials that I'm sure are not being used here, and with ambient occlusion. Or if you're like in a nightlit scene where the things in the foreground are lit up and the things that get further and further away get darker and darker and darker, you get black in those kind of situations. But you want to keep your blacks for your ambient occlusion, and for the shadows of your black local value. So like the pants makes sense, but for the local value that is like mid-tone gray to white, you want to be very, very careful with putting blacks there, because it's going to make it feel like it's been drawn or painted onto a surface. It's not going to feel like it's supposed to be there. So just be wary of that. I'm actually going to make this even a little brighter. So I apologize for the weird head gestures while I paint. It's kind of automatic for me. That light direction, there's going to be some of that neck casting. The neck's going to cast a little bit of shadow on the area there. The blacks are gonna, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the shadow value for the black local and paint black in the shadow. See what this does? But I think even then, if that's what we're gonna use, I need to make this slightly darker just because of like the value ranges that are going on here. And I think based on how small the character is, I'm going to make this black a little lighter. I'm not going to use pure black, because I think that's a bit much. And it might not even show up for you guys, but we'll see. The whites here, you don't need pure white unless it's specularity. So just be careful. Initially, you're going to paint something that's more like a light gray in there first, and make sure that reads. I'm going to remove the scar because I don't think you really need it at this point. I think you should add that thing later on in the image. Right now, it just kind of makes everything like really busy. No, you don't necessarily have to have the other arm in the image. The thing with getting stuff to look more 3D is thinking about the shadow and mid-tone planes. So see, like here on this plane, you'd actually have some shadow going on, and then you'd have it coming out again here. Like understanding how like geometry works and where you'd place things. Now, because this is coming at a 3/4 top-down angle, this all this here is probably going to be with that form shadow. So you might get like a little bit and have a bit come out here for like the pelvis, but you could essentially just simplify everything like that. I'm gonna actually bring some of this out because this is I think I need to lighten that up a little, just a touch. Yeah, that's better. Better value separation is always makes things read. Never a bad idea. I think actually all this stuff would be getting hit by light. So let's put a little bit of black on the upper edge there.
What up?
Oh, I'm just streaming. Do you want to say hi?
No.
All right, I'm gonna go back here. Some of that. For the armor here, I'm guessing you want something kind of metallic going on, so I'm just gonna really quickly do that. We're gonna put like a mid-tone to a dark form, like local value, like this. Flatten that out. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring back some of that cast shadow going on here. I'm gonna wrap even some of that around, show like a bottom plane there. That's kind of cool. Maybe it's not, who knows. This stuff here, I bring this back. So you can go back and make stuff like got that fur shape afterwards. But honestly, like adding those little bits of the texture to it, you don't really need to place that everywhere. I would use it more sparingly. Just group those values together. See? You don't need to create a line there initially. Like, it still reads. So like, why would you put more information if you can say something with less? I want to make this arm bigger. And that's just more of a personal preference. I don't think you need to do something like that necessarily, but I think it adds like a bit of a nicer shape. So for let's go back to the metallic part really quick. Let me check how much time I have. Okay, we're doing okay on time. Bright specular. Try to get it to indicate the form somewhat. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to throw in some bounce lights. And armor doesn't just float on the surface, you need to actually strap it in somehow. So let's go in and add a strap that's so like so, and then we can go back and push that value in the shadow a bit like that. It's making sense for you guys so far? If not, too bad. No, I'm kidding. So you see, I'm trying to actually take away information with this as much as I can. And then we're gonna go back in and try to see how we can push stuff. Actually make this a little brighter. Not by much though. So right now I'm just pushing everything with flats as much as I can. Okay, thinking about light direction again. Where's it coming from? This line down here. I have a bit catching in this area. Probably not there because of the cast shadow. The rest of this is in black. Here, some form shadow. Right like that. And it's just it's more of just a guess of where it's gonna probably show up, but it's better to be conscious and make that guess than to not be conscious and guess. Does that make, if that makes sense? Like make guesses, but make well thought out ones. Don't just wing it in terms of knowledge. Be like, oh, there's light coming from this general direction that's like a blanket over everything. Like, really think of the angle of the plane that's facing the light and then also where the light's coming from. Same thing for this part here. Let's break it down into one local value. I'm not crazy about the design, but it doesn't really matter right now. We need to solve the problem of value and lighting. So let's focus on that. Most of these pants I'm just gonna make them dark, just cause like we don't need all that information in there. We want to probably focus more on silhouetting it so that reads. Same thing here. There is going to be some fall off, and you have a very dark ground, so there's not going to be a lot of bounce light. But let's get the local to work first, and then we can figure out the other stuff. Kind of leaning over funny, so my back of my shoulder is starting to get gnarly. Yeah, they are kind of stubby. That's a good point. Also, another thing, if you're not using reference, use reference. Even if you're stylizing stuff, it's going to help you solve a lot of problems. Proportion, for one, is really big for likeness, so don't neglect that. You know what? Let's get rid of the belt. Because I feel like right now at this point it's more just there as a thing, and we don't really have a good excuse for it. Actually, what I want to do is I want to bring this out more, cut that away. It's making it like this is going to come out like so. If we want, we can do like a little tie off at the front there. That seems to suit a little better. This would come back out a little like that. Probably get, you know, a bit of variation in some of these, nothing too crazy. Overall, nice attempt. Just try to focus a little more on your local values. I think this would actually cut in. Yeah, more like that. Like that better. See, then you can always go and add like some edge variation to make it feel like fur. I'm going off a little bit onto taking some design liberties and like what the costume looks like. Hope that's okay. Don't mean to destroy too much of it, but maybe it'll give you some ideas for stuff in the future. Make some light hitting here. I really foreshorten that eye shape to make it feel like it's showing the side plane of the head, because predators, they look like the tiger, it looks forward at its prey, where if you put the eyes on the side of the head, it's going to look more like a herbivore, because they have to look back and forth so they can see stuff like tigers coming up from behind them. So like cats, dogs, all these kind of animals that hunt, like for me, they're always going to have the eyes on the front. So just think about that. This is why reference is really, really important. I've seen a lot of things that like it really gets me when people will draw like a rabbit. And then they'll draw the eyes in the front like this. When you'd actually be getting here on the side. Stuff like that. It's really important. And you can go in and add like cool little details here and there. I'm getting a bit of King vibes from him now. I guess that's my fault for doing the gauntlet thing. I'm just kind of not too mad about it. It's kind of cool. All right, we're at about 10:30, so that's going to be it for this one. Yeah, but the toony look just makes it look terrible if they change where the eyes sit. It's like it's not that animal anymore. It's like you're putting two animals together. Like if you draw a rabbit with its eyes in the front, like it looks really wrong. They did that with the rabbit in the Guardians one, the cartoon, the Easter Bunny. They put his eyes like small eyes together in the front. And it's just looks terrible. Yeah, it looks awful. It looks also awful because it looks like their teeth are. Like why is their teeth and then why is the mouth underneath like that? Like what's going on? That's really weird. Jeez. But yeah, the eyes also look bad there. I think the best artist I've seen that keeps like her animals really consistent but like also really beautiful is probably Claire Wendling. She amazes me every time, especially how she does rabbits. Doot doot. Okay, that one's done. we're gonna go to the next one by Umino. I'm gonna drop this down and make my own because I think it's gonna be a little bit quicker than going over each one. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get to them all, but we'll see. It's a lot. But thumbnails are generally faster, so it might be okay. Let's see how this goes. Switch up my brush because this one is going to be a little better for thumbnailing because it's a little more opaque, I think. Actually, no, it's still got a lot of texture to it. I'm just going to go hard round for this. Make it easy on myself. So, first thing we want to do, this is way too black for thumbnails. Let's start off with something a little different. So basically what we want to do is we want to get something, if they're like humanoid types, we want to think about how the pose works. So even if you're doing thumbnails, if you're having trouble with the character, just think about the structure of the pose. The weight-bearing leg is there. And you can have the arm come down like this. That's not even a bad pose. But yeah, just think about how that stuff works. I'm just gonna go over it really quickly. Get a simple shape silhouette going. Guys following along okay? I'm not boring you to tears just yet. Also, another big thing about character design, especially when you're at this stage, is to think about shape balance. So you don't want all the shapes to be equal like this. You want to think about creating some interest and asymmetry. Right? So maybe big torso, smaller legs, stuff like that. Making one shoulder a bit bigger. Play around with the shape a lot, because in this stage you can do a lot of things. So be honest with yourself. Like if you don't like how it looks,
you outside?
just keep pushing it till it works for you. I like a bit of what's going on here though. You got like this kind of almost like a Horus kind of feel to this, which is pretty interesting.
He's a dream team.
Yep, it's okay. It's gonna be okay.
Johnny home.
I ain't saying she a gold digger.
But.
Go ahead now, go ahead, get down.
I'm gonna increase that beak length a bit. Oh, why did my... Oh, another ad's popping up on my thing. Next time I'm just gonna log in with the talent tree Twitch, because that one's a little bit janky. So what I'm going to do now, because this is all black, and so we're just using the silhouette shapes to make it read, I'm going to divide this into two and start putting some really simple shadow shapes here. Just to try to make this read a little better. But let's see how it goes. Whoa.
Sorry.
So main places I usually like to put it is like where there's laps. So where the arms meet the torso is always pretty safe. Because we still don't want to be thinking like too much about detail. We want to make sure that everything's reading nicely on its own. I'm gonna push out some. I'm trying to follow the thumbnail, but also trying to keep it a bit of I'm gonna keep this big black shapes up here to make that the focal. And I'm just gonna use a little smaller ones. I'll get one near a little bit near the hand and the sword. A bit near this hand. That's kind of all we need, really. We don't need like anything crazy. Just help the design along a little without, you know, making it. Push that chest out a little. Make it feel more bird-like. Maybe that's not what you're going for, but I think it's kind of cool. See how much we can do in just the thumbnail stage, just by pushing and pulling things. You can even clean up these shadow shapes a little. Right here, this is not a bad place to put something. I can cut away at it a bit. There. Actually, that's great. I like that. Break this up a bit. I'm keeping I cut some of those parts a little shorter because I'm trying to keep the torso, upper torso, like bulkier. I think that's a little more interesting. Yeah, that should be fine. I think that's good enough. It's a good start, and then from there you can always like play around, see what else works. I'd say though, for stuff like this, I wouldn't generally keep it at just one value, one local value. I'd push something in one of the areas. So maybe just give it like, try to find a place where you can make like an interesting shape that breaks up the values a little. But yeah, I don't know. It's up to you. No one's playing Destiny. It's just you, all by yourself. Like, I hope you're used to playing that game alone, because I don't think that's ever gonna change. Just kidding. I'm sure it's a great game. I'm liking this. Okay, cool. Next one. Let's see how much time we have left. We got 20 minutes, so I'm probably only going to be able to do 2 more. It's not bad to spend more time on thumbnails. Try to have a target time, but if you don't make it, it's okay because you want to focus on problem solving early. Yeah, there we go. Anthem, it's okay. It feels honestly like really generic sci-fi, honestly. Like I don't think I'll play it. I'm kind of excited for Monster Hunter though. And the new Ori looks great. That's what friends are for, Plaque. Okay. Let's try out this character here. Looks like they're like a kind of robotic frame going on here, which is kind of cool. I'm gonna go in pretty rough and then clean it up a bit. I'm gonna add a little more, try to add just a little bit more three-dimensionality to it. Nothing crazy. I like how it's got a bit of a Geiger vibe to it. It's cool. I'm definitely starting to feel a little more warmed up right now. It's pretty good. I haven't done thumbnails like this in a while. I actually really enjoy it. I love early design so much. So like, you just play with creating these ideas and entities and people. And it's like, but you can do it so quickly that you don't feel frustrated with like the problems of like getting something to a render. It's just pure creation. It's fun playing God. I ain't mad at it. Yeah, I think that's even enough for that thumb. And I'm just gonna add like a little bloop. Yeah, boy. That's all I need. And bloop. Just help to show a little bit of that foreshortening. There we go. Oh, Breath of the Wild's great. I was gonna go after Ganon and the Hyrule Castle, and then I stopped briefly to go explore more of the world because my friend told me there was a lot of stuff I haven't seen yet, even though I've got like almost all the shrines. So, yeah. Yeah, gameplay is something that's definitely skimped on. I wish there was more like interesting dynamics or engines that made you try like different things and ideas. Like Hyper Light Drifter is one of the coolest engines I've ever played, and it's like a simple pixel game. I want more stuff like that. Like experimenting, I want to see more experimenting with engines that like you can move very, very quickly with, and then you got to use like really refined timing to do things correctly. Like Vanquish was a really cool idea, I think. The gameplay got like a little bit monotonous after a while, but like such an interesting idea. And the way it was executed was also really cool. Alright, let's try one more. Or two more. We'll see. I'm not sure what Cuphead is, Zane. I honestly think a lot of the models of AA games, they're gonna keep making money, but I think the niches, the niche stuff, like people who prefer like good storytelling and gameplay, is gonna become a thing where enough people are gonna invest time and money in it, like the indie scene, which I think is already happening, honestly. So I'm not too worried. And I'm going to be a big part of that myself, so, you know, it's all cool. Like, I definitely plan to do my own development. Ravon's going to be a game, so it's going to be really fun.
now, go ahead, get down. Still streaming.
Yep. I'm streaming till 5 minutes from now. I'm doing a crit right now for thumbnails. But they're like a lot of these there's some really good original ideas going on here. It's just they need a bit of like sharpening up. I wish everyone would do thumbnails more. That's my dream.
I like what you did with it.
Thanks. Yeah, I know, guys. I made it a little bit sexy. I'm sorry. It's, the hip shapes are too fun. Can't help. Can't help. Yeah, it looks like we're only gonna have time for the 3 because I'm pushing this one a little more. Hope this helps, you know. Yeah, being clean with it is really good. Well, you can make a mess. Some of my thumbnails are really messy, but it's like you want it to make a very clear statement. I don't actually like the blades on the end, so I'm gonna switch that up. Make it more. Yeah, there we go. Hmm. No, that's fine. Let's keep it abstract. I feel like the 2-second ones fit in the same world a little better, and the first one's a little more fantasy-like. But yeah. Yeah, draw boxes, guys. Just draw boxes all day, every day, and then light the boxes with 2 to 3 values from different angles, different lighting angles. Just keep playing around of spinning stuff around in your head. You basically want to start thinking like a low poly render machine, more or less. But it's 11, so I'm gonna call it. But thanks a lot, guys, for coming out and keeping me company. Good work. Umino and Kevin, thanks for sending the work in for crit. Hope that helps. I'll send you guys the PSD soon. And for anyone that's new here, this is the Talent Tree weekly stream. Well, it's actually a bi-weekly stream. I do character crit and paint over on Thursdays, and Frank does environment crit and paint over on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So send in your stuff if you feel like you need help. But yeah, see you guys Tuesday. Thanks for coming out.